If you're crying right now, it might feel like you're falling apart. Maybe you think something is wrong with you. Perhaps you feel overwhelmed by a weight you can't shake off. Or maybe it just feels like your emotions are finally spilling over and you don't know how to stop them. But what if I told you that these tears aren't a sign of failure or weakness? What if I told you that these tears are actually part of a bigger, deeper process? Right now, in this moment, something inside you is shifting. It might look like you're falling apart, but in truth, you're breaking free. You're releasing years of pressure, fear, and tension that have been building up inside you for so long. This is not a breakdown, but a breakthrough. You're not losing yourself. You're finally letting go of everything that has been holding you back. And in doing so, you're making room for the new. You see, crying isn't just a reaction to sadness. It's a spiritual release. It's your soul's way of telling you that it's time to let go of something that's been weighing you down. The tears you're shedding now, they're clearing the path for a better version of you, a version that's lighter, freer, and more aligned with your true self. So if you're crying right now, it's not a bad thing. It's a sign of deep healing and transformation. If you keep pushing these tears away, if you continue to ignore or judge the pain, you'll stay stuck. You might think you're protecting yourself by pretending it doesn't hurt or by rushing through the moment to fix it. But the truth is, you're only delaying the healing process. The more you avoid what's coming up, the longer it will take for you to move forward. When you tell yourself you're not allowed to cry, when you hide your emotions or push them down, you're only reinforcing the belief that you need to carry everything alone. You might think it's not okay to feel like this, and maybe you're telling yourself that others have it worse, so your pain doesn't matter. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Your feelings, your pain, and your tears all matter. They are valid. If you try to skip over this moment without understanding it, you'll miss the chance to heal. You'll miss the opportunity to transform the pain into wisdom, strength, and growth. The truth is, ignoring the emotional release will only make it come back stronger. You might end up feeling exhausted, stuck, and unsure of how to move forward. It's not just about feeling better in the moment. It's about allowing yourself the space to process, heal, and emerge stronger than before. But when you understand this moment, when you realize that the tears are clearing the way for a fresh start, it changes everything. You stop resisting the process and start embracing it. You start seeing your emotions not as a burden, but as a key to unlocking a new, better version of yourself. And that's when true healing begins. Right now, let's pause and take a moment to ground yourself. It's easy to get lost in the swirl of emotions, to feel overwhelmed by everything that's going on inside of you. But I want you to stop for just a moment. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, hold it for a second, and then exhale fully. Let your breath calm you and allow your body to relax with each inhale and exhale. Notice where your body is tense. Are your shoulders hunched up to your ears? Is your jaw clenched? Let go of that tension. Take a moment to drop your shoulders and unclench your jaw. You don't need to carry this weight. Your body has been holding on to stress for so long, but right now, in this moment, you have the power to release it. Feel your feet on the ground beneath you. Allow yourself to feel the earth's support. Know that you are safe in this moment. No matter what you're feeling right now, you are not alone. Your emotions are a natural part of your journey. They don't define you. They are simply guiding you to something better. Now place your hand on your chest. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. With each breath, allow yourself to connect with the peace that's already inside of you. You don't have to rush through this. You don't have to force yourself to feel better. Just breathe and let yourself be present. Let yourself feel exactly what you're feeling. There's no wrong way to feel. What you're experiencing right now is part of the healing process, and you don't need to do anything except let yourself be. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to cry. It's okay to not have all the answers right now, but you are enough just as you are. Your heart knows what it needs, and by taking this moment to connect with yourself, you are honoring that truth. Your healing journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Let yourself rest in that knowledge for a moment. Okay, perfect. Continue to the next 3 sections in the same way, based on the outline. Right now, the most important thing to understand is this. Crying is not something you need to fix. It's not something you should feel embarrassed about. It's not proof that you're weak, broken, or failing at life. Crying is one of the most natural things your body and heart can do. It is a release valve. It is your system saying, I can't hold this inside anymore, and that is not bad. That is healthy. A lot of people were taught to treat tears like an emergency, like something has gone wrong if they show emotion. Maybe you were told to be strong. Maybe you learned to swallow your feelings and keep going. Maybe you became the person who holds it together for everyone else, the one who doesn't fall apart, the one who stays calm even when life is heavy. And over time, you got used to carrying pain quietly. You got used to acting okay even when you weren't okay. You learned to smile, to say I'm fine, and to move on. But your heart doesn't forget. Your body doesn't forget. Your spirit doesn't forget. So when tears finally come, it can feel scary. It can feel like you're losing control. It can feel like the dam broke, and now you don't know how to stop it. But here's the truth. You were never meant to hold everything forever. You were never meant to be fine all the time. You were never meant to carry pain like a secret you have to hide. Tears are one of the ways your inner world cleans itself. Think about how your body works when something is stuck. If you have dust in your eye waters to wash it out. If something is in your throat, you cough to clear it. If your stomach is sick, your body tries to get rid of what doesn't belong. Your body doesn't do this to punish you. It does this to protect you. It does this to bring you back into balance. Crying works the same way. When your heart has been holding too much, your tears come to help you let go. So instead of asking, why am I like this? Try asking, what am I releasing? Instead of thinking, I shouldn't be crying, try thinking, my heart is making space. Instead of feeling ashamed, try to see it as a sign that you still care, that you still feel, that you still have a living, beating heart inside you. Some people go numb for years. Some people can't cry even when they want to. So if you're crying right now, it means something in you is still open. Something in you still wants healing. And that is a beautiful thing. Your tears are not random. They are not meaningless. They are not just too much emotion. They are a message. They are movement. They are energy leaving your body. And the more you let them move through you, the less you have to carry. That's why you often feel tired after crying, but also lighter, like something changed, like the pressure dropped. That's because something did change. Something finally moved. And you don't need to explain your tears to anyone for them to be real. You don't need a big reason to cry. Sometimes you cry because you're hurt. Sometimes you cry because you're exhausted. Sometimes you cry because you've been strong for too long. Sometimes you cry because a part of you is finally telling the truth. Even if you can't name the reason, your body knows, your spirit knows. And it's okay if you don't have the words yet. You don't have to label it perfectly. You just have to allow it. So let the tears come without turning it into a problem. Let them come without making it a story about how you're failing. Let them come like rain. Rain doesn't mean the sky is broken. Rain means the sky is clearing. And sometimes your tears are the rain your soul needed. There are times in life when crying is more than emotion. It's not just sadness. It's not just stress. It feels deeper than that. It feels like something inside you is tired in a way sleep can't fix. It feels like you've been carrying something heavy for a long time, and now your spirit is finally saying, enough. If that's what this feels like for you, then listen closely, because this may be a spiritual moment for you. Sometimes tears come when your soul is waking up, not in a loud way, not with fireworks, but in a quiet, honest way, like a part of you is opening its eyes after being asleep for years. You may not have planned it, you may not even understand it, but suddenly you can't pretend like you used to. You can't ignore certain feelings anymore. You can't keep forcing yourself to be someone you're not. You can't keep living on autopilot, doing what you're supposed to do while your heart feels empty. This is often what happens when you are outgrowing an old version of yourself. And outgrowing can hurt. It can feel confusing, because the old version of you was familiar. It was the you that survived, the you that adapted, the you that learned how to stay safe. Maybe you learned to people please. Maybe you learned to stay quiet. Maybe you learned to accept less than you deserved. Maybe you learned to carry everyone else. Maybe you learned to shut down your needs so you wouldn't be a burden. Maybe you learned to settle, to shrink, to perform, to keep the peace. And that version of you may have helped you at one point. It may have protected you. It may have gotten you through hard times. But there comes a moment when your spirit starts to feel trapped in that old pattern, like you're wearing clothes that don't fit anymore, like you're living a life that doesn't match your truth, and your tears are a sign that the old way is no longer working. Sometimes crying is your soul grieving what it didn't get, the love you needed, the safety you wanted, the kindness you deserved, the support you didn't have, the words you never heard, the apology you never received, the care you had to give yourself because nobody else did. That grief matters, and it can live inside you for a long time, quietly. You can still go to work, you can still smile, you can still laugh with friends, you can still function, but deep down something feels sore, and eventually that soreness asks to be felt. Other times, crying is your soul grieving who you had to be to survive, the version of you that had to act tough, the version of you that had to stay in control, the version of you that had to carry pain alone, the version of you that couldn't break down because nobody was there to catch you. When tears come from that place, it's like your inner child finally gets to exhale, like a locked door finally opens, like your heart finally says, I don't want to do it that way anymore. And here is something important. Spiritual growth is not always light and peaceful at first. Sometimes growth feels like discomfort. Sometimes it feels like crying in the middle of the night and not even knowing why. Sometimes it feels like your old life is falling apart. But many times what's really happening is that your old life is falling off of you, like a shell, like a layer, like something you wore because you had to, not because it was truly you. So if you're crying right now, there is a good chance that your spirit is trying to bring you back home to yourself, back to your truth, back to your heart, back to what matters, back to what you really feel, not what you think you should feel, not what other people want you to feel, not what you've been trained to hide, what you really feel. And this is why it can feel so intense, because it's not just a bad day, it's not just mood swings, it's not just stress, it's a turning point. It's a message from deep within you, a message that says, stop abandoning yourself, a message that says, stop living your life for everyone else, a message that says, stop running from your own heart, a message that says, come back. You don't have to know exactly where you're being led right now. You don't have to have all the answers. but you can trust that these tears are not here to destroy you. They are here to soften you. They are here to open you. They are here to make you real again. When people cry, they often fall into habits that make the pain heavier, not because they're doing something wrong on purpose, but because they were never taught how to hold their emotions gently. Most people were taught to rush, to fix, to distract, to judge themselves, to act like emotions are a problem instead of a message. So if you're crying right now, there are a few traps to watch out for, because these traps can turn a healing moment into a longer, harder struggle. One trap is fighting the tears, trying to stop them, wiping them fast, holding your breath, tensing your body, telling yourself, don't cry, not now. The problem is, when you fight your tears, you're fighting yourself. You're telling your heart that it's not allowed to speak. You're telling your body that it can't release what it needs to release. And that creates even more pressure. The tears don't disappear. They just get pushed deeper, and later they come back stronger. Another trap is judging yourself while you cry, saying things like, I'm so stupid, I'm too sensitive, I shouldn't be like this, I'm embarrassing, why can't I be normal? This judgment is like pouring salt on a wound, because now you're not only feeling pain, you're also attacking yourself for having pain. And the truth is, you don't heal by being harsh with yourself. You heal by being safe with yourself. A third trap is trying to fix everything in the middle of the emotion. Your mind might start racing. It might say, okay, what do I need to do? What's the plan? How do I solve this? And planning can be useful, but not while your heart is flooded. When you are crying, your system is in a soft, open state. It needs comfort first. It needs gentleness first. If you try to force solutions while you're shaking inside, you'll only exhaust yourself. There will be time later to make choices. Right now, your job is to feel what needs to be felt without turning it into a battle. Another trap is comparing your pain to someone else's, saying, other people have it worse. I shouldn't be crying about this. I don't deserve to feel like this. This comparison is a way to shut yourself down. But pain is not a contest. You don't need a big enough reason to be hurting. If it hurts, it hurts. And you deserve care, even if you can't explain your pain in a way that feels serious enough. Another trap is feeling like you must explain your emotions to be allowed to have them, like you need to justify your tears, like you need a clear story. But sometimes tears come from a place deeper than words. Sometimes they come from years of holding on. Sometimes they come from a slow build-up. Sometimes they come from something you forgot you were carrying. You don't need to explain your tears to make them valid. You don't need permission from anyone to feel what you feel. And one of the biggest traps is rushing yourself, thinking, I should be over this by now. Why am I still struggling? What's wrong with me? Healing does not move on a strict schedule. Your heart does not run on a timer. Sometimes you cry because something is ending. Sometimes you cry because something is starting. Sometimes you cry because your body is finally catching up to what you've been through. And that's not weakness. That's the process. So right now, if you can, stop fighting the tears, stop judging yourself, stop rushing, stop comparing, stop trying to fix your whole life in the middle of a storm. Just be here, just let your heart move, let your body release, let your spirit breathe. Because your tears are not asking for punishment, they are asking for care. And when you give yourself that care, even for a few minutes, something shifts. The pain softens, the pressure drops, and you start to feel something you may not have felt in a long time, the feeling of being on your own side. When you're crying, your mind often goes to the same painful question again and again, what's wrong with me? It can feel like the tears are proof that you're not strong enough, not stable enough, not doing life the right way. But that question is a trap, because when you ask, what's wrong with me? You start searching for reasons to blame yourself. You start building a story that you are broken. And the more you believe that story, the heavier everything becomes. So here is the shift that changes everything. Stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What is trying to leave me?" That one small change is powerful, because it turns crying from something shameful into something meaningful. It turns the tears into movement. It turns this moment into release instead of failure. It reminds you that you are not the problem. You are the person healing. Ask yourself gently, what has been sitting in my chest for too long? Maybe it's hurt. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's pressure. Maybe it's a feeling you never got to speak out loud. Maybe it's the pain of always trying, always holding it together, always acting okay. Maybe it's the tiredness of carrying other people's emotions while hiding your own. When you ask, "What is trying to leave me?" you stop fighting the tears and start letting them do their job. And when you make this shift, it also changes the way you talk to yourself in the middle of the storm. Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," you can say, "This is a lot, and I'm still here." Instead of saying, "I need to stop crying," you can say, "My body is releasing what it can't hold anymore." Instead of saying, "I'm alone," you can say, "I'm with myself right now." These are not fake words, they are gentle truths, and gentle truths can calm you faster than harsh judgment ever will. Here are a few simple lines to hold on to when the tears come, especially when you feel like you can't breathe through it. I'm safe to feel this. This feeling can move through me. I don't have to fight my own heart. I can be soft and still be strong. I don't need to solve everything right now. I'm allowed to have a hard moment. Say them quietly in your mind if you want. Repeat them like a steady hand on your back, not to force yourself to feel better, but to remind your system that you are not in danger just because you are emotional. Because many people learn to treat emotion like danger. Many people learn that if they cry, something bad will happen. They'll be judged, they'll be ignored, they'll be told to stop, they'll be made to feel small. So now, even as an adult, the body reacts to tears like it's unsafe. That's why this simple shift matters so much. It tells your body, this is not an emergency, this is release. It tells your heart, you don't have to hide from me. It tells your spirit, you can come forward now. And slowly, the crying starts to feel different. It stops feeling like you're drowning. It starts feeling like you're letting go. And one more thing. The goal is not to never cry again. The goal is to stop being scared of your own emotions. The goal is to stop treating your feelings like an enemy. Because the moment you stop fighting yourself, healing becomes easier, not instant, not perfect, but easier, because you're no longer adding shame on top of pain. You're no longer pushing down what needs to move. So let the shift be simple. If tears are here, something is leaving. If the heart is heavy, something is being released. If you're breaking open, you're also making space. And making space is how new peace enters. When you're in a tender place, it's easy to think you need to do something big to feel better. A huge life change, a dramatic decision, a long talk, a perfect plan. But right now, big moves can feel too heavy. And when your emotions are high, big decisions can come from fear instead of clarity. So the next 24 hours are not about fixing your whole life. They are about caring for your nervous system. They are about giving your heart a soft place to land. Start with something very simple. Drink water. Crying uses energy. Stress dries you out. And when your body is low on water, your emotions can feel sharper. So take a few slow sips, not rushed, not forced, just a small act of care that tells your body, I'm looking after you. If you can, eat something warm and simple. It doesn't have to be perfect, just something that gives your body comfort. When your body feels a little steadier, your mind often feels steadier too. Many people forget that emotions are not just in your head. Your body is part of this. Your body needs support. Take a warm shower if you're able. Let the water touch your shoulders, your neck, your back. Imagine it washing off the day. Imagine it washing off stress that isn't yours to carry. You don't need a complicated ritual. Just warmth, breath, and a few minutes where you don't have to be anything for anyone. If you can, go outside for a slow walk, even if it's just a few minutes. You don't need to talk to anyone. You don't need to be productive. Just let your feet move. Let your eyes see the sky, a tree, a wall, anything real in front of you. Slow movement helps your body feel like it can move forward again, even when your heart feels stuck. For the next 24 hours, give yourself permission to not make big decisions. Don't decide your whole future while you're crying. Don't send the long message while your chest is tight. Don't end something or start something just to stop the pain. There will be time for clear choices later. Right now, your system needs calm first. Try a very small journaling moment. 1 page, no pressure, no perfect words. Just write what you feel. If you don't know what you feel, write that. If the only sentence you can write is "I'm tired," write it. If the only sentence you can write is "I don't know what's happening," write it. Your journal is not a school assignment. It's a place where your heart can speak without being corrected. Also, try 3 minutes of silence. Just 3. Sit down. Put a hand on your chest. Breathe slowly. And if your mind runs, let it run. Don't chase it. Don't argue with it. Let thoughts pass like clouds. The goal is not to empty your mind. The goal is to remind your body that it can be still without falling apart. And here's a gentle spiritual step that helps many people. Speak 1 honest sentence to the universe. Not a long prayer, not a perfect prayer, just 1 honest sentence. Something like, "Please help me feel safe," or "I don't know what to do, but I'm open to guidance," or "I'm tired of carrying this alone." The point is not to sound wise. The point is to tell the truth. Truth is spiritual. Truth opens doors. For the next 24 hours, be careful with what you feed your mind. If you can, stay away from things that make you feel worse. Arguments online, heavy news, people who drain you, anything that adds more noise. Your heart is already full. You don't need extra weight. And if you need to cry again, let it happen. Crying is not a setback. It's not proof that nothing is changing. Sometimes the body releases in waves. Sometimes the heart needs more than 1 moment. So when it comes, let it come. And when it pauses, let it pause. No pressure either way. These tiny actions may seem too simple, but simple is powerful when you're raw. A soft blanket, warm water, slow breath, a short walk, a quiet room, a kind sentence. These are not small when your heart is hurting. These are anchors. These are ways you tell your spirit, "I'm not abandoning you." Healing does not always arrive as a big moment where everything suddenly feels perfect. Most of the time, healing arrives quietly. It shows up in small shifts that you might not notice at first, especially if you're used to living in survival mode. When you've been carrying pain for a long time, your nervous system gets used to tension. It starts to feel normal. So when healing begins, it can feel unfamiliar. Even calm can feel strange. Even peace can feel like, wait, what is this? One of the first signs it's working is a change in your breathing. Not dramatic, just subtle. Maybe you take 1 deeper breath without forcing it. Maybe your chest feels a tiny bit less tight. Maybe you notice you can exhale more fully. That matters. A deeper breath is your body saying, "I'm safe enough to soften." Another sign is that your thoughts slow down for a moment, even if it's only for a few seconds. You might notice that your mind is not racing as fast. You might notice a small gap where you're not replaying every fear. That gap is healing. That gap is space, and space is where peace can enter. You may also feel tired in a different way. After emotional release, the body often wants rest. That doesn't mean you're getting worse. It means your system is coming down from a high state of stress. It can feel like emotional exhaustion. But sometimes that exhaustion is the body finally letting itself relax. It's like when you've been holding a heavy bag for hours and you finally set it down. Your arms feel weak, not because you failed, but because you were carrying too much for too long. Another sign is that you start to feel small moments of lightness even in the middle of sadness. You might still feel emotional, but you may also feel a small sense of relief, like the pressure is not as sharp, like you can sit with yourself without panicking, like the tears are not scary anymore. That's a big sign, because when you stop fearing your emotions, you start healing faster. You may also notice that you become more honest with yourself. That's a spiritual sign. You start admitting what you really want, what you really don't want, what you've been pretending about, what you've been tolerating. This can feel uncomfortable at first, but it's a strong sign that you're waking up. Honesty is often the start of real change. Another sign is that you feel drawn to simpler things: quiet, clean spaces, rest, nature, calm music, a slower pace. When healing begins, your spirit often stops craving noise and starts craving peace. You may not want to talk as much. You may want to be alone in a healthy way, not in a lonely way. You may want softness. That's not you becoming weak. That's you becoming aware of what your system actually needs. You might also notice small coincidences that feel like comfort. A message at the right time, a song that speaks to your heart, a kind moment from a stranger, a sentence you read that feels like it was meant for you. These moments don't always solve the problem, but they can feel like gentle signs that you're not alone, that you're being supported in ways you can't always see. And one of the strongest signs is this: you stop needing proof every minute. You stop checking, am I okay yet? You stop asking, is it working? Not because everything is perfect, but because you start trusting the process. You start trusting that feelings can move. You start trusting that a hard moment does not mean a hard life forever. You start trusting that tears can be part of healing, not a sign that you're stuck. Sometimes healing looks like you cry, then you breathe, then you drink water, then you rest, then you wake up and the world feels a little less heavy. Not completely light, not magically fixed, but lighter than yesterday, and that is real progress. So if you're looking for a sign that things are changing, don't only look for huge miracles. Look for small shifts. Look for one deep breath, one calm moment, one kind thought toward yourself, one night of better sleep, one day where you don't judge yourself as harshly, one moment where you choose gentleness instead of punishment. That is healing. That is the work. That is the shift happening in real time. Right now, you don't need to become a new person overnight. You don't need to figure everything out in one day. You don't need to prove how strong you are by pretending you're okay. The truth is, strength is not the absence of tears. Strength is staying with yourself while you feel them. Strength is not running away from your heart. Strength is choosing care instead of shame. So take this moment and make a simple commitment. Not a big promise you can't keep, not a perfect plan, just one gentle decision that you can carry for the rest of today. Say this to yourself slowly, like you mean it. I will be gentle with myself today. Let those words land. Let them settle in your chest, because gentleness is not weakness. Gentleness is safety, and safety is what your body and spirit need right now. When you are gentle with yourself, you stop making your pain worse. You stop fighting your feelings. You stop turning your tears into a reason to hate yourself. You start becoming the kind of person your own heart can trust. If you want to go one step deeper, say this too. I'm allowed to feel what I feel. And then, I don't have to carry this alone. And then, even if I don't have answers, I can still have peace. You may not believe every word at first, and that's okay. This is not about forcing belief. This is about creating a softer inner space. a space where healing can happen, a space where you don't get attacked for being human, a space where your emotions can move without fear. Now, for today, let the goal be simple. Let the goal be to breathe, to drink water, to rest if you can, to avoid making big choices from a hurting place, to speak kindly to yourself even if it feels new, to let the tears come and go without turning them into a story that you are broken. And here's something very important to remember. You do not need to be fixed to be worthy of love. You do not need to be cheerful to deserve support. You do not need to be healed to be held. You are worthy right now, even in the middle of the mess, even in the middle of the tears, even in the middle of the tiredness. If your heart feels heavy, let it be heavy for a while. Heavy does not mean hopeless. Heavy just means you've been carrying too much. And when you stop carrying it alone, the weight starts to change. So if you can, leave a simple commitment where you are. One word, one sentence, something like, I choose gentleness, or I'm ready to heal, or even just, I'm here. Because when you name your commitment, it becomes real. And sometimes just knowing you chose yourself today is enough to start turning the page. If you're crying right now, it doesn't mean you're losing. It means something true is moving through you. It means your heart is still alive. It means your spirit is still trying to guide you back to what's real. Your tears are not here to shame you. They are here to free you. You don't have to rush your healing. You don't have to understand everything at once. You don't have to be perfect to be okay. One breath at a time is enough. One soft choice is enough. One kind thought is enough. Healing is built from small moments of care that you keep choosing again and again. And even if today is hard, it does not mean tomorrow will be the same. Feelings move. Seasons change. The heart can heal. You are not stuck forever in what you feel right now. This moment is not your whole life. This moment is a doorway. So breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Put a hand on your chest and remind yourself, I'm here, I'm safe, I'm allowed to feel, and I'm not alone. Let today be the day you stop fighting yourself. Let today be the day you stop calling your softness a problem. Let today be the day you choose to come back to you.